Hook, what if I told you the Players' Championship at Sawgrass isn't just about who hits it furthest, but who reads the course like a thriller and spins it into a narrative you won't forget? Today we're not just chasing birdies, we're chasing the story behind the numbers and the tension that could redefine the weekend. This is the kind of event that exposes a subtle truth about golf. Sawgrass rewards patience, precision, and those tiny, almost stubborn edges that separate leaders from the crowd. Personally, I think the second round's early moves show that the leaderboard isn't a straight line. It's a living plot with rising stakes, sudden misfires, and players rediscovering a rhythm when the weather finally cooperates. What makes this really interesting is how a handful of names, Connors, Straka, Spieth, are flipping the script in real time, not by blasting drives but by turning iron play into momentum and ruling the greens with a confident putter. In my opinion, that balance between finesse and nerve is the heart of this tournament. Let's break down the core ideas driving the weekend's drama, and I'll give you the unfiltered take you won't hear in a box score. First idea, the course is tipping to the short game and approach play. Core logic here, Connors and Straka are leading with accuracy and aggression into greens, showing that Sawgrass isn't about pounding fairways so much as pin position awareness and precise layups that set up birdie opportunities. Personally, I think this shift matters because it signals a broader trend in elite golf, the emphasis on smart risk-reward decisions rather than brute distance. What many people don't realize is that the course's layout forces players to weigh containment against aggression on almost every hole. You're rewarded for smart budgeting of your shots, not just power. If you take a step back and think about it, this aligns with the PGA Tour's ongoing evolution where precision and decision-making trump raw clubhead speed on tough setups. Second idea, Spieth's mid-round surge isn't just luck, it's a convergence of form and course conditions. Spieth rattled off 6 birdies in 7 holes, flashing a vintage rhythm that suggests his ball striking and comfort with the greens are aligning again. From my perspective, this moment matters because it's a signal. When Spieth is on, his decision-making under pressure is among the sharpest in the game, and that elevates the field's suspense. What this really implies is that experience and touch can outmaneuver even the most disciplined younger players when a course invites strategic play. A detail I find fascinating is how the streak started on a par 5 and rolled through the closing holes, showing that momentum here is not a fluke but a function of confidence translating into cleaner lines and crisp short-game execution. Third idea, Connors' front 9 fireworks and potential course record pace. Corey Connors opened with 4 straight birdies and then rattled off a back 9 that had him flirting with the course record at 62. What makes this compelling is not just the number, but how it underscores a blueprint, impeccable ball striking with a putter that finally clicks. What this really suggests is that Sawgrass can be conquered by the person who can string 5 or 6 clean, high-emotion holes together, undisturbed by the crowd or the glare. People tend to underestimate how quickly a round can flip when a player catches a groove. Connors is a reminder that the first 9 holes can be a loud whisper that becomes a roar by lunch. Fourth idea, the morning wave's scoring mood and the potential for a dramatic cut-line swing. McIlroy's return to competition faced a rough start, 2/74, as he adjusts to back spasms, while Scheffler is navigating a recent pattern of misses on one side. From my view, this matters because it paints the picture of a field where the early rounds are less about a single hero and more about collective resilience. The deeper takeaway is that health, tempo, and confidence interact in a tight window. A few good holes can reset a week, but a few bad ones can cascade into a tough weekend. This highlights a broader trend. The margin for error at Sawgrass is tiny, and the mental game on top of physical health becomes a defining factor. Deeper insight, the Players' Championship as a bellwether for the season's arc. When you watch this tournament, you're seeing a microcosm of the tour's current state, a blend of strategic precision, late-round heroics, and the emotional swings that come with an iconic layout. What this really indicates is that the 2026 season could hinge on who can sustain aggressive, thoughtful play over 4 rounds, not just who can shoot the low number in a single afternoon. A key implication is that consistency on greens and smart risk control will separate the title contenders from the rest as the field thins toward the weekend. The broader trend is clear. The sport's evolution toward course management mastery is becoming as valuable as raw power. Closing thought, if you want the players to stay unpredictable, you'll want to watch how the leaders respond to the course's rhythm as the weather eyes change again. My take is that the weekend will reward who stays patient, commits to a plan, and executes under pressure with a calm that only comes from experience and belief in your process. So, the big question for viewers: which players will thread the needle between going for glory and playing the numbers? And more broadly, how will this weekend redefine what the best strategy means at Sawgrass in a world where the field is more versatile than ever? If you got a take, drop it in the comments. I'm curious to see which approach you think will win the championship this year.